This session is around AI for all and basically how we're working towards achieving that at Kirklees College. My opinion is that AI is for everyone and you don't need to have a techie background, and we need to make AI less exclusive and more inclusive. So that's the journey that we're on at Kirklees College. So the first thing that I'd like you to do is either scan the QR code, which will take you to WooClap. You don't need to log in, you don't need to sign up. It will take you straight to a question that I'll have waiting there. If you don't have another device, you can open a new tab and go to wooclap.com, and it will ask you for an event code, and the event code is just at the bottom there. I can't see if any difficulties come into the chat, so maybe unmute if anyone is struggling.
I'll keep an eye there as well, and I've popped the details for the WooClap in the chat as well.
Thank you so much. I'll give people a couple of seconds to get on it, and then I'll answers. I'll do it in real time too, so that I know how long it's taking. Oh, great. There's lots of questions rolling, lots of answers rolling in straight away. So, first question, what's your biggest challenge in navigating AI? The speed of change, policy guidance, helping students with it as well, great point. Age restrictions, yeah, I think lots of us are getting headaches there. Delays with management making decisions, security, a wealth of options. I think that's a really interesting point. It really frustrates me that there's lots of businesses that put an AI sticker over their product. But if we go beneath that, actually, the AI were already accessible to us. They're just rebranding it and selling it. Staff skills, so many choices. Okay, interesting. Thank you. I'm going to have to just scroll to the next question. Cost of licenses. Oh, I can see a lot more on here than I could on my phone. This is great. Okay, I'm going to scroll on to the next question. And what I'm wondering here, what I think would be interesting for us to think about is, what is AI enabling at your workplace? What's it enabling you to achieve that wasn't possible before? I don't know if anyone's used WooClap, but it's a great interactive tool. You know, I don't like to say to students, put your phone away, put your phone away. I like to say, get your phone out, let's see how we can use it and interact. And at the bottom of the screen, it tells you how many people have participated. So, you know, if you've got a class of 20 and they're not all interacting, then actually you've got to do some pushing to get them on. But I love this tool. And it's now AI powered, surprise, surprise. Okay, so completing tasks quicker, managing workload, saving time, teacher-matic, expanding research results, time saving. Okay, I think that this is interesting, that what it is bringing to us is a tool to streamline workload. I'm not seeing in the sector and in these answers lots of additional things that it's doing for us. It seems to be the winner is streamlining workload. Okay, thank you. Interesting. Hopefully I might be able to shed some light on some concerns of people's, and lighten the load by sharing some things, hopefully. Thank you for that. So our journey at Kirklees College is about embracing AI. We're promoting meaningful AI, and we're making it a real drive of ours to protect that time saved. I hear lots of people talking about additional jobs that can be given, or additional things that can be undertaken in the time saved. And I think it's important for us to recognise that the role of an educator only ever grows, and we've always got more and more things to take on. So for us, it's about supporting staff to just hold on to that time. And as someone said in the Wool Clap, it's reclaiming those evenings and weekends, and not filling that time with lots of other tasks. We want to support our staff, and we want our students to be future ready. It's really important for us that people come first. And interestingly, when I've been putting these slides together this morning on Canva, when I've searched AI in the images, these are the images that it's come back with. So we often see the tech and the robots. And I think that can be quite damaging. I think we're at the heart of all of AI. I mean, the information that it holds and that it's trained on wouldn't be possible without a human. So for me, I think it's important to kind of reduce that bias and that reliance on tech, when actually people are at the heart of it. And that's a real drive for us, that it's people first. So I included these images just to show you what Canva had come up with. But if it was down to me, this would be people and people's hands and the faces of people rather than the robots. So for us, and I'm sure for many people on the call, there's a need to build confidence in staff. Later, there's some confidence building to do with students, but first of all, you have to get your staff ready for this change. And we have been doing so. And my thoughts on AI is it's not quite where we want it to be yet. There are some great quick wins. There's going to be lots of things that it can eventually do for us, but right now it's early days. And I often compare this to the early days of Google. We had all these great expectations for what the internet could bring, and in reality what we had was Ask Jeeves. I don't know if anyone has used Ask Jeeves. I recall I was very young and I used to spend an awful lot of time asking Jeeves, and he would often get it wrong, and it were difficult to navigate. And what we wanted from the internet was so much more. And I feel like now we are seeing what the internet can offer, and only now is it meeting our expectations that we had back in the 1990s. And when people feel like they can't do change, I think it's a flippant comment that people make about being too old or feeling out of the loop. I kind of storm in there with, well, actually, we've gone through lots of change in our lives. Not only have we asked Jeeves, and we've gone from certain consoles like Nintendo 64s, Dreamcast, PlayStations, MP3 players, Walkmans. We have had a massive range of tech in our lives, and students haven't, not all students, not 16 to 19-year-old students, they haven't been through that change that we've been through. It's quite consistent now. They've always had a phone, whereas it was new for us, and we've really been through so much tech. So I think that's a great starting point for staff, to help them see, actually, you can do change, and you do change, and you have moved through the times with tech. And confidence building is massive for the groundwork to get it right in our organisation. So some of our levers for change, first of all, our strategic aim for 22-23 were, no, 23-24, were promoting curiosity. So just letting people dabble in all the things that they found really interesting, and working with IT and myself to ensure that they were the right platforms, trying not to restrict that autonomy too much, because to grow curiosity, autonomy plays a massive part. Also, we've took an organisational approach to AI, from governors to catering staff. it's important for us that everyone in our organisation has the training. I sit in the quality improvement department, and my focus is TLA, but I'm very much aware that as we want to storm in the sector, we really need to get everyone on the bus. We can't afford to leave anyone behind. We've also pulled together a student-led curriculum, which is in its early days, but we've pulled together a group of students that are interested in AI. They don't have to have great knowledge, but we want to know, what they don't know, and how they want to learn about AI. And I think there's a real opportunity to pair staff and students up. ChatGPT, which has been a real lever in the sector, dropped at the same time for us all, staff and students. So I'm keen to tie up that connection. We've got a staff steering group, and we monitor and assess AI tools, and I work closely with our director of IT. And we really drive an inclusive approach at Kirklees College. We think about the terminology that we use, we think about the language that we use, and we promote that inclusivity with our language. I think things like prompt engineering can make people retract, and if we describe that differently by saying, well, what would you ask the person next to you that doesn't know any backstory? How would you describe events then? I think we have to be careful about the words that we use when we're promoting inclusivity. And also another lever for us is our parent and guardian support. It's all well and good taking your staff and students on a journey, but who's supporting that wider community, and who is supporting parents' knowledge and understanding of AI? I do recall when Snapchat had bought into AI, my sister-in-law said to me, "Oh no, Holly," which is my niece, "is messaging someone called Al on Snap," and it was my AI. So obviously I'd supported my sister-in-law at that point, but there is no one doing that work. I'm leading on a group, and I'll get to that because anyone can join that group. So just some tools for success. Everything is community driven. I don't think everyone has the right answers. I don't think there's someone that's the be and end all of all knowledge in AI. I think it's really important that we come together in further education and higher education and support each other, just to balance those books. It's no use kind of leading in the sector if you're not offering a hand back to pull other people up with you. So in the early days when ChatGPT dropped in November 22, it was quite a lonely place. Colleges were banning AI, and we knew that we didn't want to ban AI. So the following March, I'd pulled together a collaboration group, which is our ACE group, and that's artificial intelligence collaboration. And there are over 150 people in this group with colleges up and down the country. We have HE, we have some independent organisations. We also have some awarding bodies on there, and that group is a group that supports each other. The group, there's one rule, it's that role, rank and ego is left at the door, and after that anyone can join. We meet up as often as we can, online or in person. We support each other with policy. We share all the resources that we create just to give other people a helping hand, and just to stay ahead of the curve together. The kind of ethos is the more we share, the more we have, and community over competition. Also, in the last year, I run Creative Club, which is just a monthly AI club where we look at different themes each month. So when that first started running, people brought their favourite AI tools, and then everyone that joined got to listen to everyone else's favourite tool, the pros, the cons, the costs, and people left with a bank of knowledge of tools which they might not have had before that call. So that's a great club. It's easy come, easy go. People don't have to come every month. They can just tap in and tap out when something interests them. And additional to that, I try to run kind of sector-wide initiatives, really, just just because I think that sharing is so powerful. And I'm not sure if anyone kind of were involved in Techtober. I can see Vio on the call. She delivered on Techtober, but that was just an idea that I had, that we could share the way of CPD, and lots of leaders in the sector come together to put on a session. Lots of it around AI and lots of it around digital tools. Just that we could all share. So throughout October, we had 1 or 2 sessions every single day that anyone in the sector could tap into. And I will run that every October. I'll be putting communications out soon. So if you don't follow me on LinkedIn and you want to be a part of that, then yeah, please reach out, because like I said, the more we share, the more we have. And one person doesn't have all the answers, and it's important to share everything that we create, basically. If I've saved an hour doing something, then I believe I should share that, and everyone else should be able to save that hour too. So I thought what we might be able to do is, I best put these links in the chat actually. So I put some links on here that you'd be able to just have a look through later. So the Creative Club Padlet, each month we usually check in with a gift, so they're really funny. And then we try and capture everything that people bring to the table on the Padlet. So there is a wealth of resources here, and anyone can take this and have a look. I'm just going to bob some stuff in the chat. And if you've got anything to add, or just realised half of my head's off the screen. If you've got anything to add to that, or any resources to share, then that would be great. We've also got a Padlet which were created by Claudia at Newham College in collaboration with the ACE group, and we share everything on there, from policy, guidance, resources, staff training. Anyone can access that. You can have a look through that and add anything if you see fit. And also the Techtober recordings, I'm going to share that with people. So Connie, who's great, from a college in Wales, I think it's College, I might be mispronouncing that. But she'd created this flip book for us, which pulls together all the recordings so people can still tap into it as and when they see fit. And we'll come to talk about those in a second. I just wanted to put a couple of things on people's radar that's going on. So first of all, myself and 7 other colleges are involved in All In for April. I like to market things around AI, as you can tell. And this, we're coming together to support parents here. And each night at the end of April, I'm going to share all the marketing material. It's week commencing 28th of April. Each early evening, we will be offering a session to support parents and guardians with their understanding of AI. And anyone can join this. There's 7 of us that are leading, but that doesn't mean if your college isn't leading on this, then your parents and guardians can't tap into it, because they can. So I'm going to be sharing all the marketing for that on LinkedIn and via email. So please reach out if that's of any interest. And just another thing to put on people's radar, I'm conscious I'm talking a lot. I'll finish this and then we'll come back to some discussion, is our graduate scheme, which is a celebration to tap into who's doing what with AI and what creative purposes, what creative kind of projects are people undertaking with AI. So it's a year-long project which started internally at Kirklees College, or the thought grew with myself, but then lots of people externally, because I run lots of community groups, were interested in being a part of this too. So now it's growing, and I've asked Jisc to endorse the programme. At the minute, it's sat with the managing director at Jisc, and I've also paired up with the head of compliance from BT. He's willing to offer a space for this kind of celebration event, just bringing some more meaning to a graduation where people get up on the stage and they share their AI project. they share the impact of the project and they share the resources for the project. So the whole scheme is built around what have you done with AI that's impacted yourself or the students, and then what can you share. So just again to build a community of sharing, and if that gets endorsed by Jisc, we will be rolling that out over the summer and starting the project come September. So really interesting, amazing event actually, just to celebrate. Not everyone is a beginner with AI. Some people are taking it and running with it, and they need some recognition, and that's what that scheme proposes to do. And additional to that, we are hosting an employer event in collaboration with Zoe Tierney. I'm not sure that she's on the call. Again, she's a great collaborator, and she's from Burton and South Derbyshire College. And I think it's really important for us as educators to align with industry to find out, are we meeting industry needs? What do staff want? What do organisations want? In terms of skills when students get to them. So it's just been informed on the AI that we need to drive in the college. And I'm aware I've done so much talking. So what I'd really like to do is stop sharing for one, and just come back to the group to see if there's any questions or discussion point information that I've just shared at speed.